Hello and welcome to the royal town of Windsor. This is Felix Saunders, Travel in the Know. I felt it important to come to Windsor today, a couple of days after President Donald Trump graced the town. That's one way of looking at it, but certainly Trump towered over Windsor, receiving a welcome unlike any other. I thought it would be nice to take a quick look around Windsor and also see if we can eat like a royal and like a president who was treated as an emperor.
My name's Dave.
And can you explain your role?
Well, we're ceremonial wardens. We assist the police during the guard change purely to make sure that the guard and the public are safe.
And you do an amazing job, it has to be said.
Okay.
Can you explain to us who were the guards going into the palace, and equally afterwards, who came out?
Right, well, the band this morning was the Irish Guards of Kilts and Bagpipes, the 12th Regiment. New guard going in with the 4th Regiment Royal Artillery, and coming out with the Grenadier Guards. So they've just done their 48 hours on duty.
That's amazing. Now, obviously, I come because of the Donald Trump visit, just to be here at the same time, see the flags, the pageantry. Would you say his visit has made a difference to visitor numbers?
Yes, I think it has. I think we generate more visitors when there's been a visit like this. It's usually very crowded anyway, especially on a Saturday morning.
And has everybody been very peaceful?
Mostly peaceful, yes. We do get one or two little incidents, but mostly people are in. It's probably they don't understand the language if you tell them to stay where they are. And they all step out to take a picture, the next one steps a bit further, and we've seen the guards actually knock people out of the way. All they do is shout, "Make way for the King's Guard," and then they'll knock you out of the way. That's why we have to be so vigilant to make sure everybody stays where they are. They all want to see the guard for those few minutes.
Well, that certainly doesn't apply to Donald Trump. He got a lot more than just a T-shirt.
My name's Nick from Longmont, Colorado in the U.S.
And it's interesting because you're following in your president's footsteps 2 days later here in Windsor. Did it make you feel more likely to actually come to Windsor or not?
No, actually, when we booked the trip, we didn't know he was going to even be here. So, yeah, we're as surprised, I think, as everybody else.
And how are you enjoying Windsor?
Love it. Just beautiful, super old history. We just don't have anything like this in the U.S., so it's amazing to see such a cool, quaint town.
How do you feel the welcome is in Britain at the moment? Is it any different with a new president in place, or do you feel very welcome here in the UK?
I feel very welcome. Honestly, I feel a bit self-conscious because I think the rest of the world is kind of wondering what's going on in the U.S., and we're not quite as a part of it as some other folks are. So, yeah, feel a bit self-conscious about being a strange American.
Well, we're delighted to host you here. We love America, and we're also pleased that you can speak your mind freely on this channel, at least.
That's appreciated. Yeah, and it's very obvious. I mean, everybody's been very welcoming, and there's no seemingly animosity or anything like that.
So, would Queen Victoria have been amused by the visit of President Donald Trump to the royal court and his royal reception? Well, that's an answer to a question we'll never know. Because he quite clearly that the UK's Union Jack and the United States Stars and Stripes are still flying around Windsor just a couple of days after Donald Trump's visit. One of the things which is interesting, I've been speaking to the police, and they say that there's definitely been an upturn in visitors to Windsor over the last few days. So we can say that the visit has brought some economic value. It's also busy today, but as the police pointed out, it's a Saturday, and it's always busy here on weekends. Windsor Castle is remarkable in its own right, and almost certainly worth a vlog of its own here on Travel in the Know. It's the inhabited castle which goes back the furthest into British history. Believe it or not, it was actually built in the 11th century after the Norman invasion of England by William the Conqueror. And of course, it's marked our history throughout the ages, not least most recently as the final resting spot of Queen Elizabeth II, which can be found in the St George's Chapel. There's also no doubt that love for the royal family here has changed the names of pubs as well. For example, the Duchess of Cambridge, 2011. That is, of course, Princess Kate, and is directly opposite the castle walls. And I shouldn't forget, there is a pub called the Prince Harry as well. Hello.
Hello,
Sorry, your name is?
Heather.
Heather. And you're from the United States?
I am from Texas,
From Texas?
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Austin.
That's amazing. Have you
Yes.
been here before?
No, bucket list.
This
I'm
is
here
bucket
for my big birthday.
About 30.
Yeah, plus 20.
I don't believe it. But that's great. So obviously your president was the guest
Yeah.
of honor in this very city just 2 days ago. Is that the reason you're here?
Well, no, but it was an added bonus to see our flag flying with the Union Jack. I think that's really amazing to see at the same time.
Do you believe in a special relationship between the two countries?
Yes, we should absolutely be friendly. Definitely.
Yeah, best friends.
Absolutely. Besties for sure.
Which I think is the fact. So
Yes.
what attracts you to the place?
Well, I mean, she'll always be our queen, right? So I had to see it. I can't be in London and be this close and not see Windsor and the castle and St. George's. Have to see it.
How do you feel about your president having been honoured in what is truly, believe me, a unique manner?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's very kind of the king to invite him and honor him. That's very, they should be besties.
Now, we all know that President Trump is a bit of a property mogul, what with Trump Towers all over the place and a few casinos. But I'm sure that in the very beautiful festive conditions that took place during the state visit, the King made it quite clear that this is a piece of real estate not up for sale. The castle walls, and on the opposite side of the road, McDonald's, Nando's, and of course the Wetherspoons, the King and Castle, only in Britain. Bang next door.
Hi,
So your name is?
I'm Esme. I work at Fudge Kitchen, Windsor.
And you're from Windsor?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. How's the fudge selling going at the moment?
Fudge selling's going great. It's a weekend. We're very busy. It's been an exciting time, definitely.
As a local, how do you feel about not only hosting Donald Trump, but giving him the highest honours this country can?
I mean, I don't feel particularly positive about it. It definitely cost us a lot of money, and the Windsor Council could use that money for other things that I think are much more urgent.
Did you get to see the President of the United States of America?
I did not. I didn't see him. He didn't leave the castle. I think they were quite worried about the security around it. I met a boy who goes to the school down the road, and he came in. He's only little, and he told me that he got to sing for Donald Trump, and he was quite excited about that.
So you make fudge here,
Yeah, we do make fudge.
directly opposite the castle.
Absolutely. I make fudge and only fudge.
Is it a royal fudge?
I don't know if it has royal mark.
Has Prince William or Harry, anyone ever popped in and bought some fudge?
I don't know, I'll be honest. I know that they don't come out now, but we do have like a bit of like a fudgy urban legend that when Prince Harry was going to Eton College, apparently we had a lady who worked here at the time, and he came in for a sample with all of his Eton schoolmates, and he just wanted to go take a sample off the tray, and she slapped him on the hand and was just like, you have to ask nicely. And he was like, oh, sorry.
That's amazing. And did Donald Trump pop in?
No.
Would you have given him any fudge? Or?
No. He does not deserve it.
He's not welcome to our fudge. The old music saying every good boy deserves fudge.
Yeah.
Keyword is good.
Good boy. He's not a good boy.
Some of the cafes here in Windsor offer the most amazing baking treats. Just look at this. As it's a Saturday in Windsor, it's quite crowded in town, so I've decided to go down to the river. And actually in Windsor, there's only one genuine gastropub in such a location. You can see over to Eton, you can almost see Eton College. It is a lovely place to be, and it's called the Boatman and calls itself Windsor's Riverside Gastropub. There is a hotel called the Sir Christopher Wren with a lovely upmarket brasserie, also on the river, mainly indoors. I have eaten there and it was excellent, but let's see what it's like here in this gastropub. My objective is to eat like a royal, like a president, otherwise I'll feel terribly jealous. What did King Charles III, Queen Camilla, President Trump and Melania actually eat during the royal state visit? Well, at the castle, the president enjoyed Hampshire watercress panna cotta. That sounds quite unusual for me. With parmesan shortbread and quail egg salad. I'd love that. Nothing like that here. Organic Norfolk chicken. Wrong county, should be Suffolk. I'm an Ipswich boy, not Norwich. But organic Norfolk chicken ballotine wrapped in courgettes with a thyme and savoury infused jus. And a vanilla ice cream bomb with Kentish raspberry sorbet interior and lightly poached Victoria plums. It does sound delicious, and no wonder he was so relatively gracious and polite in his speech. He said wonderful things about the United Kingdoms. I was particularly enchanted where he mentioned all our great writers, Shakespeare, Dickens, etc., and said we'll never see their like again. I hope we do. British culture is great. A nice half pint of Camden Hellers, a beer I really appreciate. An attractive menu. It's all about offering classic British food and as much as possible locally sourced seasonal fresh ingredients. Could I have the brie coated in walnuts and breadcrumbs, please? Is that good? Would you recommend it? It's served hot, is it? Or it is, that's great. Out of the meat main courses, what would you recommend?
You're more hungry. If you're more hungry, then go for lamb shoulder.
The lamb shoulder, really good. Okay, can I have the lamb shoulder and make it as pink as possible, please? Or you don't?
We don't do pink, we do the medium.
Okay, so as medium towards pink as you can. Okay. Right, Brie's arrived. Took about 5 minutes. Brie is one of my favourite cheeses, and also it's wonderful in breadcrumbs and obviously heated up in the oven. These days it's often camembert, so it's less frequent to find Brie, but equally appreciated. As you can see, I've got a little salad of rocket, a little bit of balsamic dressing, and a couple of sun-dried tomatoes. Glowing like lava, Brie like lava. It's always what it looks like when it's heated up. And the Brie tastes nice underneath its skin and underneath the breadcrumbs. Could possibly do with being a bit warmer, to be honest. But the taste is good. And to be truthful, you can't go far wrong, can you? That taste of Brie, molten, a little bit of the jam. The jam's great. Adds a little bit of sweetness and fruitiness as well. Salad is very pleasant, straightforward. A little bit of dressing, the balsamic vinegar, go well together. Right, let's try a bit of the sun-dried tomato, a little bit of rocket, a little bit of Brie, a little bit of jam. Always good at sticking all of that together, I like to think so. Oh dear, that's not. I really like the sun-dried tomato with the Brie and the jam. It makes me think, if I had a service at home, to actually put quite a number of the sun-dried tomatoes around it, so I think it elevates the dish. So they could have been a bit more generous, more than perhaps 2 little bits of sun-dried tomato. How would Donald Trump have reacted to the appetizer? Well, I've got a funny feeling that he will be more excited by what he was offered at Windsor Castle. And it's just as well, because I wouldn't have wanted to get him in such a situation where with all that presidential aura, he would have perhaps reimposed some tariffs on us because he didn't like his appetizer. We couldn't possibly have that. Thank you very much. Very kind, thank you. So the lamb shoulder has arrived. It did take a little while, but I have to say it looks a picture. I've also got some mint sauce. So let's tuck into this. It's nice. The lamb is on the bone, which is great. There's also a little bit of skin. It seems very, very tender to the touch. In fact, look, I'm really using minimum strength, and you can see how the meat pulls away. Look at that. That is a good sign. Really nice aromas as well. And it's not super pink, but you can see that according to my instructions, really, it's fairly medium. So let's see how that tastes. Let's dip the lamb in the jus. And I must admit, I'm really optimistic about this. Quite excited. A little bit of parsley in the jus as well. Definitely tender. Nice flavour. The jus adds to it. Not that much for sense of time. Let's try some lamb with the mashed potato and gravy. I like that. Obviously, mixes very well together. And the mash with the gravy, nice and fresh. Lamb pulling away again. For my flavours, I'd have liked it to have been cooked a little less. And I'm glad that the mint sauce is left to the side rather than actually plated, which I think personally can sometimes spoil the experience. But let's try it with some mint sauce, that great English way of enjoying lamb. I really like the mint sauce. It's a very fresh mint sauce, not overly vinegary. And definitely no unnecessary sweetness. Beans are flavoursome, cooked just to the right point. It's a very fair meal. Now, how would Donald Trump have reacted? To be honest, again, I don't think he would have been thrilled. And knowing him, he would have probably been very direct in what he said. He would have said, it's okay, but it's not what I expect from King Charles III and Queen Camilla. I suspect we wouldn't have got the £150 billion deal that we got. That's fine, thank you very much. I doubt we would have got the 150 billion deal for technology and AI, inward investment. It shows how you have to get the pomp and circumstance just right, doesn't it? And you know that the royal family of Windsor Castle will do that. I'm outside the Boatman now, so it's time for a quick conclusion. Well, it wasn't cheap. £42.46, £9.90 for the Brie starter. Lamb shoulder comes in at £24.90. The half pale ale of Camden only £3.60, of course. It's a subtotal of £38.60. A service charge of 10% on top, which is perhaps reasonable. £42.46. A lunch at £42.46. I'm expecting something that starts to wow me. Now, don't get me wrong. This was a perfectly decent meal, but it doesn't get better than that. The lamb was fresh, I'm sure it was locally sourced, and it really was enjoyable, but it wasn't outstanding, and the same goes for the Brie. So perhaps I'm in a particularly demanding mood, as I truly wanted a meal fit for royalty, and that wasn't. But anyhow, I'm going to give it a silver medal, and certainly if you're in Windsor, then it's worth a visit if you want to be out on the water. There is a Cope Brasserie on the other side in Eton, and there are plenty of other options around as well, but it's not bad. I think it's simply probably true about that maxim: if you're in a touristy area and you're the only place really on the river, you've got a huge competitive advantage to start with, and sometimes as a result you may not have food that's quite up to the mark or not quite as fantastic as it could be. Would I come back? Questionable, to be honest. I'd certainly come back for a drink and snacks, and that Brie, for example, would be perfect at many occasions at lunch as well. As the Boatman is quite literally just behind Windsor Castle, and you can see it clearly from some points in the beer garden, perhaps the best way to describe this meal would be to say it's below the royal standard, both literally and figuratively. I'm afraid that Rip-Off Britain for Tourists is alive and well here in Windsor. I'm walking around a car park which is a true example of that. I arrived here this morning, saw the rates they wanted to charge and fled literally 50 metres up the road, where you can park at the railway station for £4.90 for the entire day. Here you wouldn't even get an hour for that. 1 hour, £6, and up to 15 hours if you stay that long, £28. So if you are driving to Windsor as a visitor and tourist, avoid the castle car park at all costs. It's a total disgrace, and it doesn't make people particularly favourable to a British holiday. Hope you enjoyed this special edition of Travel in the Know from Windsor. Please like the video, why not subscribe, and definitely ask for notifications. And if you understand how they work, I'm still not sure, give me your hype points, please. See you again soon, and all the very best from Royal Windsor. Goodbye.